For a collector, there are few things worse than pulling a record out of its sleeve and seeing this. That sucks. Now this is the new WhiteBridge Technology M2 Vinyl Flattener. It's a 26-pound monster its creators call the world's most advanced record flattener. But as we all know, audio marketing is full of hype. That's why we're putting those claims to the test. A local record shop donated some of their worst, unplayable, and unsellable warped records for this experiment. Can this machine flatten the unflattenable, or are these records headed for the garbage bin? Let's find out. Alright, let's do this. At the time of this recording, the M2 record flattener will be launching on Kickstarter for an early bird price of $599 US. Regular price is $699 US. Marketing claims aside, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing actually works. So let's get at it. First impression out of the box. Wow, this box, this thing, this device is heavier and larger than I expected. Its footprint is roughly the size of a large turntable, like a SL1200, and it weighs 12 kilograms. That's about 26 or 27 pounds. The top plate needs that heavy physical mass to apply even downward pressure across the record. I'm definitely excited to try this out. According to WhiteBridge, the M2 has intelligent thermal control. So instead of warming up like a basic heating pad and hoping for the best, the M2 has built-in sensors that actively monitor the internal temperature and your room's ambient conditions in real time. And it takes that data to calculate a custom heating curve, holding duration, and cool down period, all on the fly. That sounds cool. Also in the box is a wooden stand that lets you store the M2 vertically when you aren't using it. That seems like a good idea to me. Because of its size, you probably don't want the flattener sitting on your record shelf full time. It also comes with these specialized adapter rings. You'll need those for records that don't have a groove guard. That's the slightly raised outer rim and inner center area found on most records. The adapter apparently acts as a shim, ensuring the music grooves never make direct contact with the heating plate during the softening process, because that could ruin the grooves. For standard records, WhiteBridge says you can just lay them right onto the microcrystalline glass. The machine also comes with special sleeves that you can use to flatten records that are still sealed without melting the shrink wrap. So this all looks interesting. Let's take a closer look.
Channel 33, RPM.
WhiteBridge did send me the vinyl flattener for review purposes, but as always, my opinions are my own. I will leave a link to their website as well as their Kickstarter page. As you can see here, the machine itself is very streamlined and from a user perspective, really easy to use. You open the lid, load the record, select your preset, and come back a few hours later. For the presets, you have several options. M for medium correction, L for light correction, H for heavy correction, and U for ultra correction, which is supposed to be used as a last resort only. The M2 comes with a guide for selecting the best setting. For a standard 12-inch, 140-gram record with a moderate warp, it recommends using the medium or M setting, at least to start. I gotta say, I'm super excited. Let's flatten some records. So for the first one, we're going to try to flatten this copy of Helix, Walking the Razor's Edge. This is a 140-gram pressing, I believe, and I would say this is a small to medium warp, maybe medium-ish. So I'm going to put it on the medium setting, and let's see what happens. I'm super curious to see if this is going to work, so come around here, and we will see if we had any success in flattening this first record. I got more we're going to try out. This is just part one. Drum roll, please. Okay, here it is. Looks pretty good. Looks flatter than before. I probably should have cleaned it. It's dusty. Follow me to the music room. We'll put this on the turntable and see how flat it is. Well, this is interesting. The flattener did make quite a bit of difference. The black and white footage on the left is the pre-flattened record, and the color image on the right is what the record looked like after coming out of the flattener. A lot of that waviness is totally gone. This record could easily be cleaned up and sold. I'm impressed. Let's try some more. This one is definitely a little more warped, particularly on the edge. And edge warps are very hard to fix. By the way, this is a copy of The Worst by Jefferson Airplane. And again, man, I think this one is going to be a challenge, but let's find out. So check this out. You just put it down on here, you close the lid, and you pick your setting. For this one, I'm going to go for medium, and we'll come back in 4 hours and see what happened. All right, it's been over 4 hours. The second record has been flattened, and well, even the cat wants to see what's going on. There we go, and that looks a lot better. Let's put on the turntable and see how flat it is. Okay, once again, the original footage on the left, and on the right, the footage after being flattened. And again, you can see a pretty big difference. I mean, the record is not perfectly flat and flawless, but it is a lot better. I probably should have dropped the tone arm on here before and after so you could see what it looked like, but you still get a pretty good sense here of the improvement. Let's try to flatten some more records. Okay, for our third example, we have the original soundtrack to Cat People. And this has a really bad warp right here. So this is the worst. This is the worst out of all the records so far. So we'll put it right there. Gently lower the lid. Now I gotta figure out what setting. That's a pretty bad. See, even this thing's not closing all the way because that warp is so bad. The warp is bad enough where I think we need to go in the high setting. So all you do is do one long hold there. Okay, it's still, look at that, still has a bit of a wave there, but it's definitely improved. So I'm gonna run it again for 4 hours and hopefully it'll be good to play. Okay. Well, it looks like there's still right there. I never got that. I'm going to touch the playing surface right there. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the Ultra. 10 to 12 inch Ultra. Caution. Yes, no, yes. See that? It's still got a warp there, right there. Probably like 80% better than it was before. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want to put my stylus through an obstacle course. Let's do another. So it's come to this. This one is really bad. This is a copy of Rush, All the World's a Stage. It's one of the LPs from the 2-record set. This one is really warped. In fact, it's so warped it won't even go all the way down onto the turntable platter. This is going to be interesting, but based on the experience from the last record, my expectations are really low, but what the hell, man? Let's try this. We'll close it up. Been flattened a bit, but right there's still a speed bump. I want to try something different this time out of curiosity. I don't think it'll make a difference, but I want to try those adapter rings. I'm saying I don't think it'll make a difference because this record does have groove guards, but what the hell? Let's try it out. That's still got it. Right there, you can see it. These edge warps are really difficult. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time without these guards. Okay, there we go. And we'll do the Ultra again. Ooh, it's getting so close. Right there. That's what's left of that huge speed bump we saw earlier. Right there. So, what the hell? Let's do it again. Oh my gosh, 33ers. I think I overcooked this record. Look at this. So off camera, that last experiment did not work. It did not really flatten it. So I reached out to Eric, the co-founder of WhiteBridge, and he told me a few users have experimented with removing the spindle on the record flattener and positioning a record so that a stubborn edge warp sits closer to the center of the flattening surface. And I tried flattening it that way, again on the Ultra setting, on a standard 140 gram record, and it looks, as I said, like I totally overcooked this record. So live and learn, man. Overall, I found the Vinyl Flattener very well built and very easy to use. After living with it for a while and trying to correct several records, including some I did off camera, I can confidently say that the M2 does an excellent job of fixing minor to medium warps. It took records that were unplayable and made them usable again within 3 or 4 hours with little to no effort on my part. Where the Flattener struggles a bit is fixing very warped records, and particularly edge warps, those warps on the edge of a record. But that's kind of what I expected. Sometimes records are just warped beyond the point of no return. But overall, it performed as promised. So who is this machine for? The most obvious user would be record store owners, record dealers, and resellers. It's an easy way to fix vinyl that would otherwise be unsellable. That said, at $599, this gadget is not out of reach for record collectors, especially those who buy a lot of used records and need a quick and easy way to fix them. The M2 offers good value for your money. There aren't really many other companies coming close to what WhiteBridge has been able to pull off at this price point. Overall, man, I dig this machine. Warped records, man, there is nothing good about them. How do you deal with record warps, or do you just avoid warped records altogether? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep on spinning.